as promised, let's shift the spotlight to coffee because coffee prices continue to surge in the global market. Arabica coffee is now trading at the highest level since 1972, which is an uptick of a whopping 83% on a year-to-date basis so far, while Robusta coffee is also up a whopping 104%. Concerns around tight supply is aiding the move in coffee prices. Extended drought and higher than normal temperature in Brazil is impacting Brazilian coffee output, which is the world's largest coffee producer. Meanwhile, a key coffee belt in Vietnam was also hit by dryness, leading to impacting production. And this, coupled with heavy rains at the start of harvest, has also impacted coffee production in Vietnam, which is the world's second largest coffee producing country. But how soon will the supply situation improve? To discuss all this and more, we now have Mr. MJ Dinesh, Chairman of Coffee Board of India, now joining us. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and speaking with us here on ET Now. Global coffee prices recently touched nearly 47-year highs on the back of supply concerns from Brazil and Vietnam, the top two coffee producing nations of the world. Do you expect global prices to inch higher even from the current levels and even after the run-up that we have seen?
Exactly what I mean is that prices are increasing due to variable reasons. One is for drought, one is for heavy rainfall area, and there is a gap between supply and demand and the stock. So all these it will be considered to increase the price of the coffee. So it depends upon mainly on the global scenario, supply and demand. So now, as on today, the demand is more and supply is less, and stock is also very less. So that is why the prices are surging.
Understood. The supply is a problem, but experts say it's not just supply concerns which is weighing heavy, but shipping and logistics of coffee in the global market is also a problem at the moment. Is this true, and how big is the logistics problem?
Yes, it is true because of some internal difference between the certain countries. There is a blockage of the transshipment area, sea area. So that's why there is a slight problem with the transport system, but it will be solved. I believe it will be solved shortly.
Okay, so supply concerns is not the only problem which is leading to the up move in coffee prices, but logistics and shipping is also another problem. And sir, are sellers front-loading sale of coffee in the US before Trump comes into power and starts imposing higher tariffs on all products, including coffee?
There may be a problem because as of now I don't have an idea on that actually. But coming to your prospects, when the prices purely depends upon ICO, indicator price, normally International Coffee Organization, which will have an average price slot, and it is purely depends upon New York and London market. For Arabica, it depends for New York, and for London, Robusta is depend upon London market. So every day the price varies, depends upon these markets. So tax structure may affect us to certain extent. Maybe that affects the consumer end because that will be a part taken by care by the consumers normally.
Understood. And back home, what has the impact been of rising global prices on domestic prices in India?
You know that as I told that it depends upon New York and London market. So internally, we are producing around 3.5 lakh tons of coffee. Out of that, we export around 2.5 lakhs of tons of coffee to the various countries. 1 lakh or 1.2 lakh tons will be used internally. And there are, because of the price variations, so practically the growers are benefited here because from many years, they were not having good price. So now they have got a good price, but there are shortage of crops also due to unvariable weather conditions. So now harvesting is going on, but you are getting a unseasonal rainfall. So all these matters for this, and internal domestically, the consumption of coffee is increasing, definitely to certain extent the impact of price will affect the consumers, but it may be for short period.
Understood. So it will impact the consumer, but to simplify that further, the coffee that we buy, could it become more expensive as a consequence of rising global coffee prices?
Yes, definitely. Normally, when the prices are going up, no, normally the consumers has to have to pay more money. But here, what happens in the sense that the margin of roasters or cafe owners will be reduced, and because the most of the prices will be passed on to the coffee growers, and the high margin coffees are sold at average price itself, because of the their margin may get affected for time being.
And how much will the increase be passed on to the consumer? What will the impact be?
Yeah, see, the prices upward trend cannot be predicted by the one factors. It depends upon the supply and demand and the stock. Simultaneously, it depends upon the weather conditions of various countries. It depends upon the policies of the different countries. As I mentioned, like US has increased the tax structure or whatever it may be. All these factors will come into a picture on the prices itself. So it cannot be addressed at a single stage. So it depends upon various aspects. So that is the major reason for the increase in prices.
Those are some of the reasons why prices continue to rise. But sir, India, I believe, also exports coffee to more than 50 countries, including European nations and UAE. How has the demand environment been from these countries?
So for Indian coffee, particularly Robusta, is getting very good premium prices, because in India we grow coffee with shade, and we wash the coffee and we process the coffee, which no other country is doing. And our maturity period of the fruits will be a long time, so the coffee quality will be more. And moreover, our cup quality is mild variety, so it is accepted by the various countries or various roasters. So hence the Indian coffee, the Robusta is particularly gaining up the momentum, and people are happy with the price, because last from many decades it was a neglected sector from the plantation side, and Robusta was getting very low price. Now the prices are really good actually. So these are the factors which we are covering.
Alright, so demand for Indian coffee continues to remain very strong, but over the longer term, how will the demand trend, say, over the next 5 years, both domestic and global? And do you expect coffee prices globally to come down anytime soon?
If you look at it globally, the concept of cafe culture is increasing. The concept of youngsters who are moving from other drinks to coffee culture is increasing. If you make note of it, from the age of 26 to 34 age group youngsters, they prefer to have a coffee. They prefer to have a coffee with other aspects in cafes. So that is a new trend. So gradually the demand will be, definitely it will keep on increase both globally and internally. As you see that in our India, the non-traditional consuming states are taking momentum, and consumption is really going up, because they love to have coffee. Now it has become a fashion. So those are the factors which definitely keep the coffee growing. The market is growing. Coming to the prices, no, prices, as I told earlier, it purely depends upon the many aspects, weather, supply, demand, and we can't predict that when it can come down, because as we know that ICO has told that it has a increase in 71 percentage increase in Robusta varieties, and 29% for Arabica varieties. Increase the indicator price is in total increase from last year. So it everything depends upon the many factors which I already explained to you.
So there are several factors on which demand-supply dynamics depends, and it is difficult to predict when coffee prices could actually decline and by how much. Mr. Dinesh, thank you so much for taking your time out and speaking with us here on ET Now on where coffee prices are headed and what are the factors driving the move.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.